age.
The search for a missing Cary woman is intensifying tonight. Friends, family, and police are desperately searching for 34-year-old Nancy Cooper. She vanished Saturday morning when she went for a jog. Garrick Brenner is live in Lockmere and Kildare Farm Roads in Cary, where the search continues.
This is Case Note Studio. We document real criminal justice cases, examining the evidence, the decisions, and how the system reached its outcome.
Like and subscribe.
Welcome, everyone. Today, I invite you to sit with a story that unfolded in July 2008 in the quiet suburbs of North Carolina. A story about love, control, secrets, and a morning run that ended in tragedy. Nancy and Brad Cooper lived what looked like a picture-perfect life in Cary, North Carolina. Their spacious brick home at 104 Wesburg Court sat inside the Lockmere subdivision, a well-kept, tree-lined neighborhood where families walked dogs in the evenings and children played freely in cul-de-sacs. Originally from Canada, the couple had relocated to Cary in 2001 after Brad landed a promising engineering position with Cisco systems. From the outside, everything pointed to success. A large home, 2 young daughters, the kind of routine many would quietly envy. But behind those walls, the picture was cracking. Yea, that house would later become the center of a police investigation. Detectives would spend countless hours inside it, examining every room, every surface, chasing answers. Because one morning, Nancy laced up her running shoes, stepped outside, and never came home. This is the story of Nancy and Brad Cooper. Nancy Wentz and Brad Cooper first crossed paths in 1999, both working for IBM in Calgary, Alberta. They were 26 years old, young professionals carving out careers in tech. On paper, they were opposites. Nancy was vibrant, social, and athletic. Brad was quiet, calculated, and reserved. When they met, Brad had just ended a relationship while Nancy was still in one. She even tried to set him up with a friend, but nothing clicked. Eventually, Nancy's relationship ended, and something shifted. She realized her feelings for Brad ran deeper than friendship. He felt it too. They became a couple. Before Brad, Nancy had been drawn to confident, outgoing men. But Brad was different, steady, and grounded in a way that felt safe. She had been hurt before. She told her sister that being with him made her feel secure. Her mother's advice was simple: marry the man you truly love. Question for you watching: do you think feeling safe with someone is enough of a foundation for a lifelong relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Nancy Cooper, née Wentz, came from a warm, close-knit family in Edmonton, Alberta. She had an identical twin sister named Krista, a brother Jeff, another sister Jill, and devoted parents Gary and Donna. Her family welcomed Brad in quickly. They were the kind of family that loved openly and rallied around each other. The couple got engaged in late 1999 or early 2000. Brad gave her a stunning diamond ring, and they originally planned a grand wedding. Then, Cisco came calling with a job offer in North Carolina. Time suddenly felt short. Rather than wait, they exchanged vows on a Friday evening in October 2000 at a small restaurant ceremony in Calgary. Intimate, quiet, and far from what they had imagined. But it felt like the beginning of something. They settled in Cary, bought a home in the Lockmere subdivision in 2001, and built a life. 2 daughters arrived, Bella in 2004 and Katie in 2006. Brad's career at Cisco thrived. He worked as a senior network engineer at the company's Research Triangle Park campus, designing and managing complex voice-over internet protocol networks. He was sharp, meticulous, and technically brilliant. In December 2007, he added an MBA from North Carolina State University to his resume. But as Brad climbed professionally, the marriage quietly deteriorated. Nancy's friends in Cary said she lived like a single mother. All responsibilities for the children fell on her shoulders. Brad, even on days off, rarely devoted time to his wife or daughters. Nancy couldn't legally work in the United States without a visa, which stripped her of the independence she had always known. Before moving to America, she had earned well, sometimes more than Brad. Now she depended entirely on him. Pause here and ask yourself, if you were Nancy, financially dependent, isolated in a foreign country, with 2 small children, what would you have done? Despite Brad's salary of approximately $150,000 a year, Nancy was reportedly forced to survive on just $150 to $300 a week for groceries and all household expenses for a family of 4. When she ran out, he refused to give more. She turned to friends for help and secretly accepted money from her parents. By the end of 2007, Brad had removed Nancy's name from their joint bank accounts and canceled her credit cards entirely. His explanation? She was overspending, and he feared debt. Her version? She had to ask permission for every single purchase. Clothing for their growing daughters, basic household items. Friends said he would regularly dismiss her needs, telling her they couldn't afford things while he spent freely on his MBA and personal hobbies. Then came the affair. Nancy began to suspect that Brad was involved with Heather Mature, a close friend of hers and a classmate of Brad's in the MBA program. At a social gathering, Heather reportedly admitted to the affair directly. Brad denied it entirely, claiming Heather was trying to destroy their marriage. Nancy's family met Heather and disliked her immediately. She had a reputation for this kind of involvement. In 2007, under pressure from marriage counseling, Brad finally admitted the truth. The affair had happened. At least one encounter had taken place in the master bedroom closet of their own home, a detail that left Nancy feeling like a stranger inside her own house. A neighbor, Craig Duncan, went further. He claimed Brad had happily bragged to other men about his infidelity, and had even made advances toward Duncan's own wife, Diana. Do you think emotional and financial control like this is taken seriously enough as a warning sign? Tell me in the comments. By early 2008, the marriage was over in everything but name. Nancy confided in her parents that she could no longer stay. She began consulting lawyers quietly. She wanted to return to Canada with her daughters. Neighbors held a small farewell gathering. She packed her belongings. Brad had reportedly agreed to the divorce. Then he found out what it would cost him. When Brad learned he would owe alimony and child support, everything changed. Suddenly, he no longer wanted a divorce. And suddenly, for the first time, he began spending time with the children, a move Nancy believed was purely strategic, coached by his attorney. He even suggested that each parent take one child. Nancy's twin sister, Krista, would later testify that Nancy told her about the suggestion, still visibly shaken. He actually suggested we split the girls up. I would never, ever do that. Nancy began planning to take the girls to Canada. The plan collapsed when Brad hid both children's passports. In July 2008, Nancy's parents, siblings, and extended family flew to North Carolina to be with her. They spent a week traveling the state together. She was happy, genuinely happy, for the first time in a long time. When she said goodbye at the airport, she had tears in her eyes. She promised she would settle things and come home to Canada with her daughters permanently. It was the last time her family saw her alive. When Nancy returned to Cary after that trip, she was furious. The house was filthy, dirty dishes, ant infestations. A messy garage Brad had claimed to have cleaned. In a 71-second voicemail to her father on July 7th, she described the home as disgusting. 5 days later, she was dead. On Friday, July 11th, 2008, the Coopers attended a neighborhood party at the home of Craig and Diana Duncan. Witnesses observed clear tension between them. Nancy reportedly embarrassed Brad in front of the other guests. He left around 8 p.m. to take the girls home and put them to bed. Nancy stayed until midnight. That was the last confirmed sighting of Nancy Cooper alive. The following morning, Saturday, July the 12th, Nancy was supposed to meet her friend Jessica Adam to help paint a dining room. When she didn't show up and didn't answer her phone, Jessica called the Cooper house. Brad answered and told her Nancy had gone for a run with a friend named Cary. Something didn't feel right to Jessica. It was out of character for Nancy to disappear without telling anyone, especially when she had plans. Later, Brad called back asking for Cary's contact details, a request Jessica found strange. During a follow-up call, Jessica admitted to getting goosebumps. That instinct led her to call police at 1:50 p.m. Nancy had left her phone, keys, and purse at home. She never left without her phone. Have you ever had a gut feeling that something was seriously wrong? And you were right? Those instincts matter. Share your story below. As for Brad's account, he told police that at 4 a.m., one of the girls had woken asking for milk, and they had none. Around 6 a.m., he drove to a store to buy some. While en route, Nancy allegedly called from home asking him to pick up laundry detergent. A few minutes later, a second call, this time for juice. Surveillance cameras at the Harris Teeter on Kildare Farm Road confirmed Brad's visits to the store. During the first trip at 6:22 a.m., he wore athletic shoes. During the second visit at 6:41 to 6:44 a.m., he had changed to sandals. The original shoes were never found. His car trunk, normally full of items, was completely empty and freshly vacuumed. On Monday evening, July 14th, a man walking his dog noticed something near a drainage area at the end of a cul-de-sac on Brittany Abbey Court, an undeveloped area about 3 miles from the Cooper home. Wildlife had been circling. Nancy Cooper had been found. She was lying face down near a stormwater retention pond in an unfinished subdivision called the Oaks at Meadow Ridge. Her body had already begun decomposing from exposure to water and weather. She was wearing only a black sports bra and a single diamond earring. An autopsy confirmed she had been strangled, with enough force to fracture a bone in her neck. There was no evidence of sexual assault, no foreign DNA, no suspicious substances, only caffeine. If you've made it this far, thank you. Stories like Nancy's deserve to be heard. If this episode moved you, please hit subscribe and share it with someone. Awareness matters. Justice starts with people paying attention. During the investigation, a clearer picture of Brad emerged, one far darker than his quiet engineer image suggested. Witnesses described him as robotic, emotionally detached, incapable of warmth. On the day Nancy went missing, he reportedly seemed more concerned with his laptop and a tennis game than with his absent wife. After she disappeared, neighbors watched him scrub his car and run load after load of laundry, tasks he had never been known to do while she was alive. When police informed Brad that a body had been found, detectives watched his reaction carefully. They described it as theatrical, clutching his head, groaning, while almost immediately asking what sports bra she was wearing. To you watching, does a person's reaction in moments of grief tell us anything reliable about their guilt or innocence? What do you think? The most damning piece of evidence came from Brad's own computer. At 1:14 p.m. on Friday, July 11th, the afternoon before Nancy's death, Brad had searched Google Maps for a specific zip code and zoomed in on a secluded stretch of road called Fielding Drive. It was the precise location where Nancy's body was later found. His computer also revealed that he had been active on his laptop from 10 p.m. to midnight on Friday, directly contradicting his claim that he had gone straight to bed with the children when he returned from the party. Prosecutors also argued that Brad, as a Cisco expert in voice-over internet protocol, had used his network router to fake the morning phone calls from Nancy, making her appear alive when she may already have been dead. Investigators made their own mistakes. A detective accidentally wiped Nancy's BlackBerry by entering the wrong password 10 consecutive times, in triggering the device's auto-erase security feature. Potential texts, emails, and photos from the final days of her life were permanently lost. Brad's defense team used every error to chip away at the investigation's credibility. In May 2009, a North Carolina judge granted permanent custody of Bella and Katie to Nancy's parents. The girls were flown to Edmonton. Nancy's twin sister Krista moved in to help raise them. She later formally adopted both girls. The judge noted that despite losing their mother and living in the shadow of a murder investigation, the girls were vibrant and well-adjusted, a testament to the family that surrounded them. On October 27, 2008, Brad Cooper was arrested for Nancy's murder. His trial did not begin until 2011. He sat in jail for nearly 3 years, unable to post the $2 million bond. On May 5th, 2011, after nearly 11 hours of deliberation, a Wake County jury found Brad Cooper guilty of first-degree murder. The sentence was automatic under North Carolina law, life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the verdict was read, Brad showed almost no reaction. For Nancy's family, it was a moment years in the making, but it wasn't over. In September 2013, the North Carolina Court of Appeals overturned the conviction. The court found that key defense testimony, specifically expert analysis challenging the computer evidence, had been improperly excluded at trial. In 2014, Brad accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to second-degree murder. His sentence was reduced to 12 to 15 years. On November 23, 2020, Brad Cooper was released from Mountain View Correctional Institution. As a convicted felon and non-U.S. citizen, he was immediately taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement for deportation to Canada. As part of his plea deal, he surrendered all parental rights to his daughters and is legally prohibited from any contact with them for life. Nancy's father, Cary, in the aftermath of Brad's release, said, "We're now at a spot where there's closure. I'm thankful that this exit has occurred. We were more interested in making sure the kids' futures were secure, and we're satisfied with the outcome. They're doing good. Bella especially. It destroyed her for many years, and she's gotten past it. He doesn't deserve them. He doesn't deserve to know them." Final question for you.
Now at a spot where there's closure to something that started all those years ago. And I'm thankful that this exit has occurred. It brings closure to us as a family, and we can move forward.
Do you feel like you have justice?
We have certainty and closure. I don't know whether justice is something I really thought about. We were more interested in making sure the kids' futures were secure, and we're satisfied with the outcome. And I think that's what counts for us.
They're doing good. They know what happened with Nancy, Bella especially, and it destroyed her for many years. And she's gotten over it. She's moved past. Thankfully, I've got an amazing family to help, and they got through it.
Does this mean now that their dad's out of their lives forever?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
It's amazing. It's total relief. He doesn't deserve them. He doesn't deserve.
Do you believe second-degree murder was the right charge given the evidence, or was justice incomplete? I want to hear your perspective in the comments. Rest in peace, Nancy Cooper. Gone at just 34 years old. A loving mother, a daughter, a twin, a friend, taken far too soon. May she be remembered for her kindness, her resilience, and the deep love she held for her daughters. She is not forgotten. If Nancy's story stayed with you, please subscribe so you never miss an episode. Share this video to help keep her memory alive and remind others that these stories matter. Every share is one more person who knows her name. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next episode.